I know some of y'all are looking at this right here and looking at the thumbnail and at the title and saying to yourself, Taurean, how is this not a Triple P video? Well, trust me when I tell you there's a method to my madness, and while this is very, interesting considering who it's dealing with, that moment is not this one. Now, if they would have went and demonetized, say, like the whole channel, then yeah, that would have definitely been Triple P worthy, but this is only focusing on one focal point. However, the reason I titled the video as I said this is a warning, or consider this a warning, is because this actually, in my opinion, extends past Candace. And you'll understand what I mean by the time I'm done reading this article. So I'm reading from NBC News, and it says YouTube demonetizes Candace Owens' anti-trans videos, says misgendering may fall under hateful conduct policy. And it was posted June 8th, 2023. YouTube said that it demonetized several videos on conservative pundit Candace Owens' channel for violating its monetization policies on hateful and derogatory content, which the company said may apply to instances of misgendering or dead naming. YouTube does not publicly list any policy on misgendering, but said in a statement that it considers deliberate misgendering as potentially violative on its monetization policy on hateful conduct. Now, see, this is where when they said that, this actually opens up a possibility of a lawsuit, in my opinion. The reason I say that is because it says in the sentence that YouTube does not publicly list any policy on misgendering. If you're just throwing out what you're doing, but you don't have it put on your guidelines, like on paper, saying not to do this and do that, then you're just throwing stuff out there just because you feel like it, and that opens up the floodgates. So something tells me, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, if the Coonstress wanted to give a lawsuit to YouTube just based on that alone, she probably would have a shot, but I would say also good luck, because she's going against Google. Because the thing is, when people say, oh, I'm gonna go after YouTube and this, that, and the third, just keep in mind they are owned by Google, so you got to deal with them too. So you're dealing with two giants. On the Candace Owens podcast channel Monday, Owens said YouTube gave her an option to delete every video that I've ever done pertaining to gender in which I have accurately gendered someone, referring to instances in which she used pronouns not preferred by trans individuals. Videos in which Owens misgendered individuals were considered quote-unquote hateful conduct by YouTube, according to Owens in a segment in the episode titled I Have an Announcement to Make. Owens' YouTube censorship claims comes amid the ongoing cultural debate on free speech and anti-trans content published by conservative media online. I keep telling them that free speech that they love so much has fine print that's written in invisible ink. And a lot of them love to bypass that all the time. I tell you, they are in love, or should I say in lust, with that First and Second Amendment, but probably that First Amendment above all, because that's the one that anyone can pretty much have access to at any given point. It's like, yeah, you have the right to say what you want, but at the end of the day, they also have the right to shut you down because you don't own the platform. I mean, I guess she can always run to Rumble, but she probably has a Rumble account, but I don't think her following over there, if she has one, is probably as big as the one she has on YouTube. And I keep telling people, that's it, they're gonna run over to Rumble and they're having fun now, but it's because it's in its early stages. People were like that with YouTube at one point when they were in their early stages. But then once they cracked down, all these policies kicked into play. And I have a feeling Rumble is going to fall into the same category. But because it's in its infancy stages, they're free to pretty much say whatever it is that they want right now. But give it some time, if they're still around a few years down the line, and they're going to start kicking in some more policies, because there's probably going to be some people that's going to make them do it or else. While YouTube said it did not remove Owens' videos, Michael Asserman, on Google spokesperson, said the company blocked ads on several videos on Candace Owens' channel for violating our monetization policies, including those against hateful and derogatory content. Under its guidelines on hateful and derogatory content, YouTube may prohibit advertisements from running on a video that promotes discrimination, disparages, or humiliates an individual or group of people. And for those of you who don't know, whenever you monetize a video, it's a whole checklist down there. It says that and the thing is, it doesn't have to come necessarily from you. It could be from whatever topic you're talking about. So say that it's shocking content, you have to make sure that you check that. If it has anything that talks about firearms, you have to check that. If talking anything about enabling dishonest behavior, you have to talk about that. If it's anything pertaining to any type of violence, you have to check that. Anything dealing with sex, you have to check that. It's a huge checklist, and you have to make sure to check every single thing. I know I have to check, like when it comes to the commentaries that I do, I have to go through that checklist and mark a lot of things off because of the stuff that I talk about. The only time that I can go through that checklist unscathed without having to check anything is if I'm doing a movie review, because those are considered real safe content. But when I'm talking about anything else, I have to put down a check mark. Hell, even with this video right here, I already know I'm going to have to check certain things on that list just to see if I get the green mark, which means it's been approved to be monetized for that video. And even sometimes, even if you do check certain things on there, you might still get yellow marked and they have to approve it or look through it to see if the video is good to be approved. And you still may not get approved because the video may be too extreme, even when you check certain things, and the advertisers won't put ads on it anyway because they don't want to run ads on that type of thing. But because the Academy is so protected, even more than the Kunstress, even though I'm not even gonna go into all of that, let me just stick to my point. They have a lot of weight, even more than she thinks she has. We keep telling Candace, well, she don't listen, but we keep saying, you keep getting out of line, they're gonna put you back in line. And one of these days she's gonna get out so far out of line, they can like bump putting her back in line. We're just gonna let her stay where she's at and make her immobile. And she can't come back to us. Well, she's never been here to begin with, so she'll just be sent on her way. But see, that's what happens though. She gets boosted from her followers, and I can almost imagine what that comment section is going to look like under the video that she made pertaining and responding to what she said right here. And I'm gonna be honest, I might go look at it just to see what they say, not on this video, but after it's done. In addition, Asselman said that this policy could include enforcement against videos that may include deliberate dead naming or misgendering of transgender individuals. See, this right here also tells me that they are probably about to implement a new policy. And for those of you who are not content creators, YouTube will drop a new policy at the drop of a hat, and you may not even know about it until the following week that they made a new policy. I'm being completely honest with you. Previously, YouTube has stated that misgendering is not part of its community guidelines, which dictate what videos can and can't be fully removed. Asselman, because I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, statement clarifies, however, that misgendering is a consideration when it comes to the company's decision around the monetization of videos. Misgendering individuals can be used as a tool to harass transgender people, and it's one of the fault lines that have opened in an online culture war that some conservatives like Owens are pursuing against the LGBTQ community. Owens told viewers Monday that they might notice videos missing since last Friday, but she did not specify which channel the videos were removed from or how many videos were taken down. Despite her claims that YouTube was censoring her videos, many videos in which she debates trans rights and gender identity remain among the more than 1,200 videos on her podcast YouTube channel with 1.67 million subscribers. Some of these videos tagged with hashtags such as pronouns, trans, and transgender were available on the site Wednesday. In a video released in August 2021 on YouTube in which Owens responded to trans activist Serena Denieri, she said the trans movement represents a caricature of what it means to be a woman. A video published April 2022 involves Owens reacting to new gender pronouns, while in a different episode released that month, Owens said a mother with a transgender son mutilated your once perfectly healthy growing son over a feeling that he had. A video in which Owens singles out a non-binary child that was posted to YouTube on May 31st ahead of Pride Month in June is still up. During the episode, Owens referred to the gender of an actor, Rachel LaChevre, I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name correctly. Non-binary child is non-existent. YouTube's policy on harassment says it protects against harmful behavior such as deliberately insulting or shaming minors, threats, bullying, doxing, or encouraging abusive fan behavior. YouTube wrote in its community guidelines, the company can remove content that violates its policies on its harassment and hate speech. All creators must follow our community guidelines, which prohibit content promoting hatred against protected groups, including the LGBTQ+ community. Speaking about YouTube's recent actions against her content, Owens said YouTube was stifling her ability to state the truth. Owens maintains a vocal stance against aspects of the transgender rights movement in the facets of the Academy on social media platforms. Recently, Owens and the conservative outlet she's affiliated with, the Daily Wire, have been at the center of numerous controversies surrounding their claims about transgender people and how they are handled by social media platforms. In her video about her own treatment by YouTube, Owens also accused the company of targeting Matt Walsh's channel after the release of the documentary What is a Woman? Keep in mind, it's the same Matt Walsh that tried to say that the word Karen was a slur against white women. The anti-trans documentary garnered the support of Twitter owner Elon Musk, who wrote every parent should watch this in a thread on Twitter on June 2nd. Twitter initially moderated the release of the video on the platform, which Musk reversed, leading to the high-profile departure last week of the company's head of trust and safety, Ella Irwin. Musk reversed Twitter's policy banning users from misgendering people on the platform in April, a move that was criticized by the Academy advocacy groups. Owens claimed YouTube demonetized Walsh's channel and was now focusing on her and fellow Daily Wire host Michael Knowles' respective channels. I feel that Matt was targeted because he has been hitting out on gender issues, Owens said on her podcast. Well, Candace, I guess that means that there's a good chance that you might be next, because I didn't know they demonetized Matt Walsh's channel. Following YouTube's alleged wave of demonetization and pressure to remove certain content, Owens said in her Monday podcast that she would re-examine my viewpoints on how I talk about this topic and maybe abide by YouTube's policy fully in a way that allows me to rest my head on the pillow. She proceeded to display graphic photos of gender reassignment surgeries and play a video from a trans person talking about how she regretted the surgery. You know, the coonstress is she gonna do whatever she wants to do because she feels like she's like the lightning in the bottle, like, you know, I guess the little firecracker. She feels like she is the magical Negro, so she's going to continue what she does. Now, the reason again why I say is I titled the video the way that I did, and I said consider this as a warning because again, this is bigger than Candace. This is a way that they're going to start really hammering down on a lot of people, even if you talk about certain topics at a bit of arm's length, even ever so slightly. And we can just look back on it and say she's the one that kind of kicked it off, or at least that's how they're going to frame it, that she's the one that really kind of kicked it off. She's lucky all they did was go after certain videos and not the entire channel. Again, if they had went after the entire channel, then that probably would have been Triple P worthy. But notice who they're going to protect. Now keep this in mind. Candace has been known to say a lot of anti-black, in particular anti-FBA rhetoric on her platforms, but we're gonna focus on YouTube because that's really who she was hammering down on the most for a while, and she still does, but she also has found a way to talk about that particular community as well, and that's when they draw the line. So I have a feeling that if Candace wants to continue her grift and keep it going, she's probably going to fall back, like she stated in her own words, on this type of talk, or change her tone, and she's going to go right back to talking about us because she know YouTube ain't going to get her for that. As we've also seen with other content creators, and I use those words loosely to describe them because I highly believe anti-black rhetoric as content creation. So that's probably what she might revert back to if she hasn't completely left it already. But again, just consider this a warning to all the ones out there that, you know, are who talk the same talk as she does. They gonna be coming for you too, and they may not have that much mercy to say, you know what, I'm just gonna take down those, or let those videos be removed. I might go after the whole channel. And speaking of videos removed, I wish I could know how many videos she had to remove. Because we know she's been going on a crusade when it comes to the Academy, specifically Hall T, for quite some time now. So I am curious, how many videos did she have to remove, and how far back did she have to go to remove them? Because the thing is, YouTube is not going to tell you what videos they have to take down unless they tell you, unless you get a strike on a video, then you know what video, but by that time they've already taken the video down themselves and given you the strike. So so the curiosity for me is there. Y'all let me know, how many videos do y'all think Candace had to remove? Because again, she's talked about this topic a lot on her channel. So I just want to know, what do you think? Well, this just took an interesting turn, because I don't think I've ever done a regular video and then literally remixed it into a triple P halfway into the video. And that's only because I'm adding this piece in right here that came a couple days after the initial one that I did. So in case y'all did not know, but some of y'all probably were and were just waiting for me to say something, Candace Owens was having some kind of event with Blexit. I don't know why she's still holding on to that zombie of an organization, but I guess she has to hold on to something. Well, anyway, based on some comments that she made towards the Academy, that event that she was hosting ended up getting canceled. She's not having the best June right now. And I kept telling people, whenever these Sambos get their wake-up call, it's going to come from the people who asked they kissed the most. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article that's coming from this website called bkmag.com that was posted June 14th, 2023. Music Hall of Williamsburg has canceled Blexit, an event backed by controversial right-winger Candace Owens that was to have taken place on Saturday. The Blexit Live Liberation Tour stop in Brooklyn was slated to include guest speakers Brandon Fakem, John Amachukwu, Stephen Davis, and host Pierre Wilson, in addition to Owens herself. Owens, a conservative talk show host, author, and activist, is a conspiracy theorist who has promoted lies about the woo-woo thing, made anti-Semitic remarks, is critical of feminism, and has called the Walt Disney Corporation child groomers and pedophiles, has described drag queen story hours as child abuse, and more. Word that her Blexit tour would be stopping in Brooklyn was met with swift and furious social media outrage. On Wednesday, Music Hall management alleged on Instagram that Blexit organizers misled the venue, writing that organizers presented themselves as a nonprofit organization dedicated to the advancement of urban and minority communities when they requested to rent the venue, when they know they are none of the sort. The post continues, it has become abundantly clear to us that in actuality, this organization provides a platform for hate speech and homophobia, which the Bowery presents will not tolerate, and we have canceled their rental contract. This event will not take place in our venue. Blexit is run by Turning Point USA, a right-wing organization that claims to encourage black voters to leave the Democratic Party. Trump supporter and fellow nut job Charlie Kirk frequently speaks at these events. Reactions were mixed on the venue's Instagram post. One says, "Do you all have no black employees who could have told you what this was about?" a person remarked. Another wrote, "Glad it's canceled, but it's so clearly bullshit to claim you didn't know what an event by TPUSA featuring Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk as speakers was going to be." I have to agree with those people. How did you not know who these individuals were? That's how they were so easy to say that they were this particular organization, and y'all thought that's what they were until you did some digging and found out otherwise. Otherwise, you would have not booked them in the first place. Owens, a frequent shit poster on Twitter, hasn't yet responded, and she probably won't. She knows when she's to keep her mouth shut and when to open it up, and usually that's when she's talking about us. See, when she's talking about us, she gets all the passes in the world, but I think she's actually hit her stumbling block when it comes to the Academy or people who are their, I guess you could say, their allies. They not standing for it. And then she did it in the worst month possible, which is their so-called Pride Month. And let's not forget, in the first part of this video, before it ended up turning into a triple P unexpectedly, that's why she ended up getting the so-called strike on her channel, which prevented her from uploading. I do not believe that that woman's channel was terminated, because again, when I looked at her page and went to her page, it was still very active. If her channel was suspended, you wouldn't see it. Like, you would type her name in and you would not see her channel there. I just honestly believe she probably got a strike and she could not upload for maybe most likely a week. She's probably, by the time this video is going up, will probably be able to upload videos again, and she's probably going to talk about the same stuff that she's been talking about. She might have to dial it back though, because you know they had no problem give her another strike, and to which if they do give her one, oh well. She should have abided by the community guidelines.